Last week, one of my daughters married, and at the reception, I was invited as the mother of the bride to say a few words. And I ended them with, don't ever stop praying together. Always tell the truth to each other with heaps of love and kindness as you create the beautiful story of your life together. I don't think it'll hurt to give a marriage definition, which Noah Webster did an excellent job of in his 1828 dictionary. The act of uniting a man and a woman for life. Marriage is a contract, both civil and religious, by which the parties engage to live together in mutual affection and fidelity till death shall separate them. Marriage was instituted by God himself for the purpose of preventing promiscuous intercourse of the sexes, for promoting domestic felicity, and for securing the maintenance and education of children. He also cross-references the New Testament book of Hebrews. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. And he uses the word wedlock, locking, in a commitment for life until death. And as time reveals the nasty demons in each other and the areas of conflict, the hurts from our childhood and backgrounds that impacted us in ways that we may not even fully understand, and then we come to an impasse, we don't run. It's the commitment of marriage. We communicate, we work things out, and this begins by speaking the truth in love. Welcome to Morning Tea. Hi, I'm Joanne Jolee. I'm so glad you found this channel where I offer a sip of inspiration to lift your spirit. Speaking the truth in love is a skill, and skills need to be developed with practice, like playing the piano. At first it's awkward and it's clumsy, but with consistent practice it starts to flow. Effortlessly, you get better and better as you go. This is what good communication looks like. This is your end goal. We listen and we are listened to. Each party speaks freely and feels safe sharing intimate things. Each speaks to each other thoughtfully so as not to carelessly hurt or control or manipulate the other. The longer a marriage exists with good communication, the more we grow into that one flesh union, the oneness of mind. And we continue to make the necessary adjustments along the way to keep our ship as even-keeled as possible. And let me tell you from my sailing experience, it is exhausting to be heeling over for long periods of time. You're just basically bracing yourself so you don't collapse and fall overboard or maybe even capsize the boat. But we have to establish a method for conflict resolution. So as you are moving through life with its changes and the storms that come up and the difficult situations, you'll have a system in order for working things out together. First, remember the power you have with a marriage partner. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? If you're watching this and you're alone after a breakup, I have a video just for you. So watch this. Some of the thoughts in there might be helpful. One thing that's just so hard for many people is to tell the truth about what they're really thinking and feeling. But it's just not possible to get to know each other unless we express our true and full thoughts and feelings. Even if they're off the wall, our partner needs to know what's going on in here. And the skill comes with being able to express these things in a loving way towards each other. We often conceal these things because we fear the conflict or the pain. Before my husband and I have tough discussions, we remind each other of the ground rules. Now here they are. Rule number 1, kind. And rule number 2, calm. Easy, eh? Well, maybe we're all so capable of tremendous damage, and we have the ability to hurt each other with our words that assault and condemn and judge. When we open ourselves up to another person, we become very vulnerable. They know where our pain points are now. True love is built on a foundation of commitment and trust and selflessness. You don't find love, you grow love. So let's get practical. We have reached an impasse and the lid has blown off. Here's a possible system for resolution that might be helpful for you. First, just get some distance, cool down, and don't let the anger escalate beyond what's already perhaps a tense situation. Wait until you're both calm and you can talk uninterrupted. And then you can say, I would very much appreciate having some time to discuss X, Y, and Z with you. How about after dinner tonight? And then always a positive. Thanks, babe. I know we can get this sorted out. So after dinner, acknowledge this is going to be a tough conversation. The goal is to get this resolved and to put it to bed so we can move on to better things. So remind of the ground rules, kind and calm. I always find it helpful to write an agenda and follow Robert's rules, which are parliamentary procedures, and I had all my board members read that book as they came on board. But each person has enough time, uninterrupted, to fully express their thoughts and feelings, with an emphasis on the facts, not the feelings. Keep the emotions off the table. And again, we're going to listen uninterrupted. And when one party is finished, you're going to repeat back. Okay, this is what I heard you say. Is this correct? Make sure you fully understand what they are trying to communicate to you. Some people have a really hard time with this. They don't articulate very well, and it can be very uncomfortable for them to expose something that's very raw for them. So the other spouse really needs to be patient and to get that clarification they need. Never, ever criticize, demean, put down, and don't tolerate that behavior ever against yourself. Conversation is over. You cannot have any immature, disrespectful behavior like that. How about, refusing to give eye contact to your spouse, or slouching down rudely? Your body should be facing each other. It's unacceptable, and there have to be consequences if someone is behaving with this level of immaturity. You've got to stay focused on the agenda item at hand. That's why I love my lists, because I can bring the meeting back to the core issue if it veers off course, which it often does. So we listen and we learn, and we're not listening just so we can find fault and win an argument. That's a huge loss for the marriage. And you're going to end with takeaways. Maybe you didn't get that final resolution you were after, but find something positive, like, looks like we made some headway. What's going to be our next step now? Do we need outside help with this problem? Should we set up some counseling? Make a plan for the next step. And then have a big hug and a kiss. You're lovers after all. This is what sets marriage apart from a Robert's Rules corporate board meeting, isn't it? If any damage was done, forgiveness is an incredible gift you can offer to each other. We all need it every single day. Offer it without excuse of any kind. I am genuinely sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It shouldn't have happened. I'm going to work hard to not let that happen again. We, our spouse, we're never going to be perfect. We are always going to fall down, and we have to always be willing to forgive and to ask for forgiveness. In marriage, we have to become teachers. We have to train each other how to love us better. So here's a simple example. Early in our marriage, my husband would make tea for me. He knows how much I love tea, and I really appreciated the gesture, but he didn't make it the way I liked it. So the conversation went something like, and I led with a positive attitude. I am the luckiest woman in the world to have a man like you who wants to make tea for me in the morning. It means so much. Now, in New Zealand, we do things a little bit differently. Can I show you what I mean? I couldn't expect him to know how I like my tea made, and it wouldn't make sense for me just to put up with him making tea that I didn't enjoy drinking. There's no need to belittle or demean his beautiful intentions or wound his ego. He's a good man and he wants to please me, so he makes the tea as I taught him, and then I show my gratitude. Oh boy, that is the best cup ever. I love you so much, baby. And by the way, am I making your tea how you like it? If not, would you teach me how? Another thing that's very powerful is to try and be the yes person as much as you possibly can. If you're going out for dinner and the options are Chinese food or Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you can say, either works for me, what is your preference? This is not being a doormat. It's very powerful. I started this with my children when they were little, and I would say yes to what they wanted as much as I possibly could. And I saved putting my foot down for the big stuff when there's no way, there's no negotiations, absolutely no arguing. And it has impact because it's not something that they're hearing all the time from you. Do you have any thoughts on communication in marriage? Please feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I would love to hear what you have to say. And thank you for being here. I'm Joanne Jolee. This is Morning Tea. I'm here every week. And I want to remind you to look for the blessings. They are all around you. Have a great week.